Welcome to the DRS video training series. This is video number 1, Getting Started. My name is Noah and I'll be guiding you through these training videos. When you first signed up for your DRS account, you should have established a folder name. This is what we call accounts in our system. To get started with DRS, open up your web browser, we recommend Google Chrome, and navigate to your folder name .ourers.com/cp. You also should have received a username and password via email when you first signed up. Once you're at your DRS login page, go ahead and enter in your username and password here, and then click Submit to log in. You should see a screen much like this. This is what we call the home page, and it contains basic but vital information about your business. We average about 130 updates a year, and the most recent one will be here in a banner at the top of the screen. There's also an event calendar here. Yours will be empty, of course, as you won't have taken any orders through the system yet. Other information you may find useful on this screen is a list of employee tasks, some at-a-glance sales reports, a weather forecast for the next 5 days in your local service area, and a list of recent updates. You can scroll through this list of updates to see what our development team has been up to recently. Now that we've got a basic feel for the home page, let's go ahead and update our username and password. And we're going to do that by going to Admin, General Config, Users. We can see our user profile here. Let's go ahead and click into that to edit it. First, let's establish a new username. Then let's go ahead and reset our password to something we'll remember. Now most of the rest of this is fairly self-explanatory, and there will be a subsequent tutorial with more information on adding and editing users. For now, let's just go ahead and update this to include the basic information. It is important to specify a mobile carrier so the system can send us text messages. Once we've updated the information, let's click Submit to save our changes. Now that our user profile is updated, let's click on the Admin tab again and start the Setup Wizard. Most of this is going to be fairly self-explanatory. It is very important for us to fill all of this information out accurately, as the system uses this information for various functions in various different places. Again, mostly pretty self-explanatory. Here in rental settings, we're going to give the system some basic information about how we run our business. Redelivery padding tells the system how much time you need between rentals. This gives you time to do any cleaning or maintenance of your items that needs to be done between rentals, or time to go to the dump for a tip, or whatever you have to do between rentals. Now some of your items might have a different redelivery padding window. You can specify a different window for different items. For example, maybe you need 2 hours on average between dumpster rentals, but more like 4 or 6 hours between Bobcat rentals. Not to worry, you can specify a different redelivery padding at the item level. What we're setting here is just the default setting. I'm going to change mine to 2 hours. Earliest rental time is just what it sounds like, the earliest time that you want to let your customers reserve an item for. Given that most of us rent to a lot of construction companies, I'm going with a pretty early time on this one. And latest rental time is the same, it's just for the ending of the rental. We strongly recommend you do require an email upon checkout. Upon placement of their order, the DRS system automatically sends your customer an email with their receipt and a link for them to digitally sign their rental agreement contract. So again, we recommend leaving this setting at yes. Default tax rate is just that, the default rate of tax you're going to have to pay for your transactions. Think about the city and/or area in which you're going to do most of your business and specify that as the default tax rate. We can establish different tax rates for different cities, and we'll go through that in a subsequent tutorial. Alright, now that our settings are updated, let's go ahead and continue. The receipt email is an important piece of information. This is where the system is going to send the receipt emails anytime you receive an order. So it's important that you put in an email address that you monitor frequently. Start invoice numbers at is not a hugely important setting. You can choose to start them at 1 if you like. We think 1,000 is better, because if somebody receives invoice number 1, they might think that they're your first customer ever, which doesn't leave a great impression for your customers. Now since we already updated our phone number and mobile carrier a little while ago, we don't need to enter anything under phone number and this drop-down menu right here. If for some reason you didn't specify a phone number or a mobile carrier earlier, we strongly recommend you do that here, again so that the system can send you text message notifications. And make sure to click Save after you're done entering that information. Alright, now that the information is updated here, let's go ahead and click here to continue. Now this is what we call the inventory wizard. This is an area where you can quickly add your inventory categories and items. We'll get to that shortly, but first we need to set up our service areas. We'll cover service areas in the next video, but first I want to show you one last thing that's useful to know about the system. Anytime you're logged into the back end of the system, you can go ahead and click on this icon right here to open up a copy of your live website. Now this is really useful for when you're building and editing your website in our system. You can not only see your changes as you make them, but you can also sort of get an idea of what your customers experience when they go to your website, which is of course very important for your business. So feel free to take a little look around and see what you think. Don't worry if things don't look the way that you want them to. We'll be working with you in the coming days and weeks to get your website looking exactly the way that you'd like it to. Alright, one last thing before we wrap up this video. The Help tab contains some basic supporting information here, and also the knowledge base. The knowledge base allows you to do a keyword search anytime you're having a question about the system. For example, if I had a question about how to add and edit users, I could go ahead and type users into this search bar. An article will pop up with information on the topic. And you can also always feel free to reach out to the tech support department with any questions about how to use the system. You can reach them at 505-435-9731, extension 102, or support@eventrentalsystems.com. Alright, I hope this was helpful. Our next video will be on setting up service areas. Thanks for watching and have a great day.